Hello, everyone. This is Yoko. I've noticed that a lot of information about what's happening in China isn't accurately reaching countries outside China. So, I've decided to share information I've gathered in English on this channel. I gather information from various media sources, so I'd appreciate your comments on the video content. English is not my native language, so I use an AI speaker to generate the audio to convey information accurately. If you find the content interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel and offering your support. Now, let's talk about Japan Denso in China. This year, they changed their company name to Nidec, and the stock price of Nidec experienced a sharp decline. The reason behind this is the sluggish sales in China. Now, let's delve into what Nidec is saying. Nidec is a manufacturer of e-axles, which are components of automotive engines. Unlike conventional motors, e-axles integrate motors, gears, and inverters into a single drive unit. While Nidec is known as the motor manufacturer, e-axles are more than just motors, they are sophisticated integrated drive systems. In the past, motor and gear manufacturers operated in separate fields, conducting research and development independently. However, the demand for integrated systems that combine these components has been growing, leading to the dominance of e-axles in the global market. Nidec's recent announcement indicates a shift in focus away from China, suggesting that they will discontinue operations in Henan and increase development expenses. What does this mean? In the realm of automotive engine components, there are diverse requirements. It's not just about efficient operation but also safety standards, which vary from country to country. For example, specifications suitable for China might not meet the safety standards in the United States. This means that to actively sell products in different countries, manufacturers must produce items that comply with each country's standards. So, ceasing operations in Hainan and increasing development expenses may signify a need to tailor products to specific market standards. If a company wants to succeed in markets beyond China, it must align with the standards of each country, leading to increased development costs. Discontinuing operations in Hainan may be a strategic move to focus on markets where higher specifications are required. Regarding e-axles, there are various conditions and demands. For example, running a motor generates heat, and cooling alone may not be sufficient. Some systems may use the generated heat as a source for heating, adding complexity to the structure. Tesla is considered a leader in advanced technology in this field, emphasizing the need for sophisticated control systems to manage both motor operation and heat generation. In the Chinese market, where demands for high specifications may not be as stringent, Japanese manufacturers face challenges in demonstrating their technological superiority. Japanese manufacturers traditionally rely on high-tech expertise, but competing with Chinese manufacturers in terms of low-cost strategy without a technological advantage is proving difficult. High-spec products may find more demand in Western markets rather than China. In summary, the challenges for Japanese manufacturers lie in balancing their high-tech reputation with the demand for low-cost strategies, especially in the face of competition from Chinese manufacturers in the domestic market. The shift in Nidec's strategy indicates the complexities and challenges in the global automotive components market. Anyway, in terms of actual numbers, Nidec is currently facing challenges, and the future is uncertain. The stock price has sharply declined, and the question now is what will happen going forward. However, if there is an advantage in producing in China, it is because the products can be sold there. If you produce in China and export, for example, to the United States or Japan, it would be better to manufacture in Japan or Mexico from the beginning. This is not just a business decision, it also reflects the current trend of the world becoming polarized. The world is polarizing, with Japan aligning more or less with the United States and China being in opposition to the United States. In such a situation, Japanese companies doing business in China alone carry inherent risks. It's essential to note that this shift in focus didn't happen suddenly. What I remember is during the Trump era when restrictions on Huawei were imposed. At that time, there was talk about the beginning of a new Cold War, with Masuo Yoichi stating that a Cold War had begun. I agreed with that sentiment because, during that time, The US was putting pressure on companies like Huawei, claiming that they were extracting crucial information. Although specifics weren't provided, the discussion at the time revolved around whether China was indeed extracting information. The debate revolved around whether China was really stealing information. The US expressed concerns that China was striving to catch up in technology, sparking a technological competition. To be frank, it was clear that a conflict with China had begun, but it might not have been apparent to everyone. Regarding the announcement of ceasing operations in China, it might be a case of too little, too late. However, Chairman Nagamori of NIDEC is considered a superstar among Japanese business leaders. He claims to have a 50% success rate when he believes in what he can accomplish. Therefore, even though changing the strategy in China might be late, I hope that he can navigate through this situation with the Nagamori mindset. Looking ahead, with the increasing tension between the US and China, it is bound to have a significant impact on business. This was already predicted during the Trump era, and now it's becoming a reality. Japanese business leaders, who may have underestimated political risks, will now face the challenge of doing business on the edge of danger. How they navigate through this situation will be revealed in the performance of NIDEC over the next 2 to 3 years. Anyway, there are numerous Japanese companies expanding into China, but NIDEC is particularly closely watched by many executives. In the midst of the world polarizing, it is fascinating to see how they will overcome this situation, not just in the context of the China business but as a global business leveraging Japan's high technological capabilities. That concludes our discussion for this time. Until next time.